I've been continuing my journey to learn about the Three.js library, how to create geometry from vertices from a control mesh, and a lot of sculpted prims that I made 15 years ago in Second Life using various tools. They called them sculpies. I don't know what exactly you want to call them, but I think the official term is sculpted prims. They were the precursor to mesh on the grid, and they were amazing at the time because you didn't have to waste a lot of objects or resources to create complex shapes, anything organic. So today I actually got the models figured out to display. So yesterday I kind of got models to sort of appear in the correct order, but there was a lot of webbing. I think I had a lot of issues with not textures, but just getting light to hit an object. And I think I figured out light at the end of the day. So today I've been working on the whole texture thing, which has been brutal, to say the least. I start learning that the images here, you don't use every pixel. You're supposed to use every other pixel, and then the last column, you also use that. So they only use odd numbered pixels and a zero base index, plus the last column contains the information for your stitching to go around to the other side in a spherical map. So yeah, I've got a lot of different objects here. This looks like a giant pillow. There's my letter T. Looks like a t-shirt. Here's a classic top hat. This was not so sharp yesterday, but now it has clear, crisp edges. And today I've been working with mapping. So here's a, do I have the logo here? Here, so here's a sculpture, and apparently the maps do not map appropriately right now to the objects. So I've been looking around at that. The main one that I've been working with is my UFO, and I created an alignment map to help me figure out, what's going on, where in the texture down here is mapping into the 3D model. And I eventually had to create several different sizes. And these are dynamic, by the way. I programmatically am creating an image here of the texture that is being applied to the little UFO there. So 2048 is the width and height of the texture. And you can see I can actually see actual circles now. If I turn on my vertices, you can see there's little points at each corner. The current problem I'm working on right now is it seems to be skipping every other texture. And this has something to do with, I believe, either the UV normals or UV faces, something with the UV mapping, or the way that I'm adding faces. Unless there are hidden faces that I don't see, I'm a little confused about that. But it could be whatever program I use to create this image. Maybe there are hidden faces, but I'm just not seeing it. This specific sculpting was made with Rokuro, I believe, which is like Japanese for the word lathe. But you can see it goes from AV32 to AX32. There should have been an AW32. And if you go from top to bottom, you're noticing it goes from 30, 32, 34. It it's skipping the cells. And you can't really see at this resolution that, but the columns should all be darker and brighter. So if I go to a lower resolution, can you see how this column here is a little bit darker? The background of behind the circles is darker every other one, and that is just not showing up on this little UFO that I've got. I can even go up to 4096, but it takes a while to create that image. And you have six cells, so you go from 63, 64, okay, that's good, 67. So there's something in between that there's like quads that are missing, or quads of two faces is what we call them. So I've got different things going on here. I added different camera angles. Let's get rid of the cubes. And these don't exactly match up correctly to what you think they would be. So this is not really the front, this is the bottom. The back is the top. Left, right, top, bottom. I don't know what those are, but the top and bottom is either left, right, front, or back. Same with the bottom. There's the isometric view and the perspective view. So camera's been fun. I added some little spinners. This used to spin both X and Y, or not X and Y, but I went ahead and made it so I could toggle these all on and off. I can grab them and change them that way. So fun stuff. That's the progress today. Oh, and the other thing was there's a big thing, like Rails probably would do it. So the Rails used to have a lot of webbing in between, going left and right. Now these appear as separate objects, but they are one object. It's just that the vertices are so small that you just don't see the faces because the vertices are tightly knit to each other. And then there's the there should be a gift in here, gift sculpty. So this was a cool one that I made. Let's get rid of that map so you can kind of see a little bit better this way. Can I do the lower one? Yeah, I can kind of see it, but yeah. Then there was the business cards. They're kind of cool. They're kind of like floating in space. It's like a whole mess of them. Trying to figure out. These were part of like a raffle ball product I was making, and they would fit inside of the fish bowl. Here's the fish bowl. Fish bowl's pretty simple. And the fish bowl did have a texture. Not that. There should be a fish bowl. Yeah, and then I think I had to set it with a certain transparency. Yeah, I can't really see where the dots are. Yeah, so I think that's about it for show and tell for today with what's going on. Probably the biggest thing of getting the models figured out was this segments here. It's really 32 plus a hidden segment. So I pretty much say, hey, there's a +1 to whatever number is figured out from the image that is looked at. So with every other column and row being read on a 64 by 64 image, you've got 32 segments. All right, so that's about it.